A Case for Change, The Status Quo, compiled by Jason Solomon. Bound Brook High School is a small Group 1 high school in central New Jersey. Bound Brook Borough is a 1 square mile township resting on the banks of the Raritan River. Traditionally the home of Eastern and Southern European immigrants, Bound Brook has continued its tradition of acceptance, as indicated by its current high Central and South American immigrant populations. Bound Brook struggles with a high poverty rate as indicated by its disproportionately high amount of students receiving free or reduced lunch from the federal government. Bound Brook clearly is a study in contrast, with the wealthy and impoverished living side by side. It is in the light of these factors that we begin to examine our educational situation and how we can work to improve it. The need for change becomes very clear when examining our standardized test scores. With so few students falling in the advanced proficient range, and more than 30% of students falling below the proficient range, it becomes clear that something is wrong. Parent and teacher feedback confirm the hard data with qualitative data of student struggles and the lack of higher order thinking skills. I believe these deficiencies are directly linked to our current curriculum and instructional practices. The current curriculum across all content areas is fact-heavy, textbook-based, and didactic in nature. Very little higher order thinking is required of the students, and no cross-disciplinary work is mandated. Teachers are expected to keep quiet, orderly classrooms, and very little student interaction is expected or encouraged. Emphasis is placed on the memorization of facts and basic competencies required for successful completion of standardized tests. The most obvious benefit of our current high school curriculum is that to date we have made the NCLB requirement for adequate yearly progress. Students acquire and retain, at least for a time, the information needed to pass basic proficiency benchmarks. Classroom environments also run well as both staff and students are habituated to the paradigm of didactic instruction. The perception in the community is that learning is taking place in the classrooms because the classrooms today are eerily similar to the classrooms of 20 or even 40 years ago. The problem is, however, what we are doing is not enough. Passing tests and making AYP is not enough for our students. Students are not acquiring the skills needed for the marketplace of today and tomorrow. Students are graduating without the skills of empathy, synthesis, creativity, information acquisition and filtering, and the ability to make connections. Students instinctively know that what we are teaching them is irrelevant to life as well as their future educational needs. Many of the students' behavior problems that we experience today are a direct result of student frustration with instruction. In addition, in very practical terms, we will not continue to make AYP in the coming years if the current observed academic trends in the high school continue. Not making AYP will have dire financial consequences to the school and the district. I think that the weaknesses of our current curriculum outweigh the benefits by anyone's measure. Why are these skills I mentioned so significant to students' future? The world is getting smaller and more interconnected every day. Think of the once high-paying jobs that are endangered species in the United States today: technical support, radiology, manufacturing, etc. Our current left-brain directed skill sets of memorization and recitation will not do for the marketplace of tomorrow. In a world where information is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, at the speed of light, what you know is no longer as relevant as what you can do with what you know. Application, synthesis, creativity, and empathy are going to be the primary skill set of the future, and we must therefore change our curriculum holistically across all the disciplines to meet the needs of our students. The buffer between what we as faculty members know and what we implement must be surmounted for our students to succeed.